Hey there, kids. It's your grandma. Today, we're going to be talking about language, specifically the language of folklore, and how you can learn to separate urban legends from fairy tales. Let's jump right in. While a lot could be said about these two forms of folklore, we're going to focus on 4 easy ways that you can differentiate between the two. That's a big word, differentiate. Almost as big as Grandma's claws. Grandma digresses. The easiest way to separate urban legends from fairy tales is in the age of their origins. While both can be generational, fairy tales can have origins going back centuries. Oral traditions that predate even written texts. They're old, kind of like that old lady I ate earlier. Man, is she killing me. Urban legends are not only more modern in origin, but their narratives are also typically built around real world people, places, or things. These are elements that are familiar to both storyteller and their audience, even if those elements may be exaggerated. Fairy tales, on the other hand, are set in a world out of time, a magical world where key elements often have symbolic or archetypal meaning. It's a place where the ridiculous can be accepted with ease, like the ridiculous notion that a wolf could dress in a nightgown and fool a small, credulous child into thinking he was her grandma. I mean, what kind of character? Which brings me to characters. While there might be supernatural or fantastical characters in urban legend, many of the characters are normal people. This makes the stories highly relatable because the characters are just like the audience. Fairy tale characters can be relatable too, but it's because they often represent general character types or archetypes, like the woodsman. He doesn't have to be a woodsman at all. He's clearly an expression of the patriarchy and colonizers using extrajudiciary violence to oppress a poor wolf who's just trying to feed himself and his family. And man, does that guy get me heated. Sorry, Grandma lost herself for a minute. Last but not least, there's the purpose. What's the motive? With urban legends, it's usually nothing more than a good scare, although there can also be social elements present. Want your teens to stay away from Makeout Point? Just tell them about the crazed murderer who just happens to live in a shed in the woods near Makeout Point. The dots will connect themselves. In contrast, fairy tales often have moral lessons that teach social norms. They help convey societal values and virtues across generations, while also helping show consequences for those who go against them, like going to Makeout Point, or I don't know, wandering off the trail, talking to strange wolves. But I mean, it's not like they're gonna follow you home and eat your grandma. Which brings me to the end of the lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it, kids, and I hope you've learned about learning the language of folklore and how to separate urban legends from fairy tales. Join me next week when Grandma will teach you how to separate the weak from the herd. Or metaphors. Grandma will teach you about metaphors. Later, taters.